Welcome to Almanac North. I'm Maria Hewitt.
And I'm Brett Scott. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, we'll sit down with the director and conductor of the DSSO to talk about their latest performances for this season.
We're also taking a behind-the-scenes look at Pancake Day and water quality testing in the Northland.
That's all coming up, but first we begin this evening with headlines. May is Maternal Mental Health Month, and St. Louis County Public Health, they're spotlighting support for new and expecting parents. 1 in 5 moms and 1 in 10 dads experience mental health struggles during or after pregnancy. A new website, northlandperinatalresources.org, offers local and national support, including 24/7 hotlines. To raise awareness, the Northland March for Moms and Dads is set for May 22nd at Alcott Park in Virginia. Parents are encouraged to wear white to show support and also solidarity.
St. Louis County and Resource Renew, formerly WLSSD, have reached a 10-year agreement to dispose of municipal solid waste at the county's regional landfill in Virginia, beginning in 2026. The contract was approved by county commissioners this week and now awaits a vote from the Resource Renew Board on May 19th. With the Moccasin Mike landfill in Superior set to close, this move provides a long-term, environmentally responsible solution for waste disposal. County officials say the partnership could reduce tipping fees and strengthen regional cooperation. The Virginia landfill is the only municipal solid waste site in northeast Minnesota and has recently been expanded to extend its lifespan beyond 70 years. The plan aligns with a new state-approved regional waste strategy focused on collaboration, cost savings, and sustainability.
If joint pain is slowing you down, learn about solutions at Essentia Health's free joint replacement seminar. It's happening on Wednesday, May 14th at 5:30 p.m. at Barker's Island Inn in Superior. Meet orthopedic surgeons, explore surgical options for knee and hips, and also see how Essentia's robot-assisted technology is helping to improve precision and recovery. Refreshments will be served, and registration is preferred but not required. You can visit essentiahealth.org for more details.
On this week's Making It Up North, we're going behind the scenes with the Lions Club to see what goes into making Pancake Day a reality.
My name's Jim Pratt. I'm co-chair of the Pancake Day, of the 66th Annual Lions Club Pancake Day in 2025. This is the initial kickoff for Pancake Day. This is a year-round planning process for us. It's our #1 fundraiser. So what we're doing today is actually putting Pancake Day itself in motion. The planning is over, it's all in place, and now we're picking up the grills, the sausage ovens, everything that we have to haul down to the deck to set up today so we can pull off Pancake Day starting at 6 o'clock Thursday morning. So what we're moving today are all the griddles that we own, the sausage ovens, the hoppers that go on the griddles, plus all the table decorations that we put up, we store year round. So today is the process of picking them up this morning, loading them on the truck, hauling them down to the deck, unloading them. So once we get down to the deck, they're all ready to be people looking at the placemats and the settings and putting out the setting up, the sausage warmers, everything from sausage warmers to pancake griddles and mixers for our batter have to be hauled out of here, down there, set up today. And we have to have everything in place by this afternoon so that we can start turning on the griddles tomorrow morning and have pancakes on the griddle ready to go at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for the help today. Here, this is a lot of volunteer help we have. This isn't all ours. This is Grandma's Marathon storage space, so they are gracious enough to share that with us. So we have a place to keep this equipment year-round. So right now we're going over and we're getting ready to find our griddles, which are the most important thing: sausages, batter, and griddles. Jim is probably a good person to question because he's been here longer than I have. He's older than me.
By a lot.
Not a ton, but technically you are older.
My name's Jim Denny, Lions Club member for about 45 years and currently the treasurer. Yeah, Wild State has been gracious to house all of our equipment. So we're loading up the equipment in a semi-truck. This is moving day to get it down to the deck. Well, you know, it's such a unique community event, you know, when you can bring out 8,000-9,000 of our, Twin Ports residents to an event, a one-day event that goes pretty much the whole day. It's kind of something we kind of look forward to in spring. So, it's kind of, the Lions Club do a lot of, service things around the world, but in Duluth, you ask somebody, what's the Lions Club about? Well, it's Pancake Day. It's become such a well-known event. It's certainly our major fundraiser. Our sight and hearing, back in 1926, Helen Keller challenged the Lions to become the Knights of the Blind and Crusade Against Darkness, and so that created a focus of Lions International ever since the 20s. And so we in Duluth, the Lighthouse Center for Vital Living is a big benefactor of our fundraising. The adrenaline starts to really, kick in about, this time when you start seeing all the equipment and you think about, oh wow, you get to the hall and it's like, wow, there's a bunch of tables that aren't set up yet, and everything has to get put in place. So by the time we leave there tonight, it'll look like, wow, we're ready to host a big party.
So I think they started with 2 electric griddles about this big, and they served 2,000 people off of that the first year they did it.
You're really seeing behind the scenes today, and we appreciate that because there's a lot of work that goes into this, and without making some awareness of it out there, of what we do and how we do it and why we do it, we're not doing this for our fun. No. Somebody asked me the other day, what's your favorite memory of Pancake Day? And I said, all the years I've been coming down here, it's probably when it's over. But then you realize what you've seen in the day. During Pancake Day itself, it is the great Duluth get-together. We've had people get engaged at Pancake Day. You hear the stories, so that's what makes it worthwhile. And every year you go, holy cow, when it's all done. And then we look forward to doing it again next year.
Our guests this week come from the Duluth Superior Symphony Orchestra, Dave Arnott and Dirk Meyer. Thank you both for being with us.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Yes, this weekend we are entering into a galaxy far, far away. Explain what's coming up.
What's coming up? Well, it's a little movie called Star Wars that's coming up this weekend. Yeah, I'm very excited for that because, of course, I was born that year, so it was a great year. It's the best movie. No, we're excited to present Star Wars, the original movie, the very first one, so episode 4, I guess it was, 1977, A New Hope. And it's the full movie above the orchestra, and they gave us a movie that has all the soundtrack on it, everything, all the effects, but not any music. And the music is all played live by the orchestra. We did this a few years ago. We played Jurassic Park in that way, and was a huge hit. And of course, it has always been a dream of not just me. Actually, a lot of folks in the orchestra are big Star Wars fan. Everybody wants to play Star Wars, and so that dream is finally coming true this Saturday and Sunday.
Well, it's a great score, and obviously a great film. So
it really is. Actually, the score is even better than the film, I think. The movie, the music is just fantastic. John Williams, of course. Yeah.
You've made me feel really old. I was 12 years old and saw it in the theaters.
You see, I wasn't.
Now we're dating each other.
Yeah, I know.
David, you were here last year at the beginning of this season. Star Wars is the finale this weekend. What were some other highlights from the past season?
I think the biggest highlight for me as a musician, I think, was Brahms' Third Symphony. It's just one of those pieces that every musician who's an orchestral player always wants to play. It's such a rewarding piece, and when you're just an individual part of 80 people on stage that all come together, it's really a magnificent feeling. So.
Dirk, how do you choose which pieces are combined into one season at the DSSO?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's really a lot of considerations that go into programming, and obviously you always have to have something that's sort of a hook. because we want to sell tickets and we want to have something that people recognize and want to listen to. So there's many of those. Those are relatively easy to find. So then it's trickier. It involves a little bit more work to find the ones that are a little bit less well known. And I always want to include something in our programs that is new to people. Either it's brand new, it's just been written or in the last few years, or it's older, but I'm pretty sure the vast majority of our audience will never have heard of it. And just because we want to all widen our horizons, right, and learn new things, while at the same time also enjoy the things that we love. Like when you go to a museum, it's wonderful to see a Monet, but it's also wonderful to see a piece of art that you didn't even know the artist.
Maybe you sprinkle in some favorites and also broaden some horizons too.
That's right, and that's pretty much on every concert, more or less every concert. It will be something like this, where you'll definitely recognize something, but there's also going to be something that you probably don't know.
So looking ahead to the new season in mid to late September, ramping up a whole new season, what does that look like? Any themes that people can see across the season?
Well, one of the themes that people will see is, it's not so much a theme as a person. Next year we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of our wonderful concertmaster, Erin Aldridge. It's her 20th season as concertmaster with the orchestra. So Erin will be featured on the first program of the season and on the last program of the season as well. And I talked to her about what we should do, and we wanted to do one concerto, and then one of those pieces that heavily features the concertmaster. And so we will open the season with her being featured on Rimsky-Korsakov's famous Scheherazade, where the solo violin is the voice of Scheherazade from 1001 Nights as she leads us to those different fairy tales. And then at the end of the season, she will be performing the Max Bruch violin concerto, which is one of her all-time favorites. And really, that's one of those hooks. Both of those are actually hooks. Both of those are very recognizable pieces for our audiences.
Oh, what a way to honor her. And so she's a concertmaster. What does that mean? What's the importance of that?
Well, I mean, she's the principal violinist. She is the liaison between the orchestra and the conductor, between the orchestra and the management. And she is the leader of the band. And in addition, she is an incredible Star Wars fan.
Oh.
So
this is a big weekend for her.
It is
a very
indeed.
big weekend for her.
And then she's got a whole season to celebrate next. That's great.
Yeah, that's right.
Just flash forward to fall, right? So the magic happens in the concert hall, of course. How do you take that outreach into the community and kind of expand your mission?
Well, there are a variety of ways that Duluth Symphony musicians work throughout the community. We've had a series of concerts at the depot called the Bridge Sessions, where we've paired up symphonic musicians with local bands, had charts written so that we could play together. We've had outreach concerts at some of the assisted living facilities. We've played up at St. Scholastica. We've played up at Lake Walk. And then Duluth Superior Symphony musicians also play in other groups in town. Coming up, they'll be present in the Borealis Chamber Ensemble. They'll be playing the FinFest Orchestra the first week in August. They'll be playing for Loon opera performance of Fledermaus in June. So
Very
busy. Very active.
We keep busy. It's
I was on your website earlier, and I liked that you had a section that said "New Here," and it had a bunch of very straightforward questions, like what do I wear, like when do I arrive, and it got me thinking that how do you grow your base to people beyond who typically enjoy classical music, who are ingrained in it, because it might be a little intimidating to enter into that new music realm.
Yeah, and I mean, what we're doing this weekend is one of those things, right? A movie with the orchestra, and especially something like Star Wars or anything John Williams really, is something, it's a real opportunity to bring in a completely new crowd. And we'll see that this weekend, absolutely. You can already see it in the ticket sale numbers. We're more or less sold out on Saturday, and we're very full on Sunday. The deck has 2,200 seats, so that's a lot of people, and definitely more than we usually attract to a classical concert. So there'll be a lot of people exposed to that type of music and the orchestra performing this weekend, and hopefully they will recognize how amazing it is to have 80 people all producing this at the same time and really coming together to perform this type of music. It's a sound and a feeling that I don't care how great your system is at home, you will not be able to recreate that sound at home. So hopefully we will, they will come back and try us out for a purely orchestral show, not just a movie.
Kind of gives you goosebumps just talking about it. It sounds very magical, yeah. I'm sure each performance comes with challenges. What are some of the most difficult parts of the Star Wars performance?
Well, I've spent the last 3 weeks learning the first violin part, and it is tremendously difficult. It's just the amount of playing throughout, the amount of what we would call noodling, just lots of up and down the fingerboard, back and forth. The keys aren't bad, so it's not terrible on the accidentals, but it's a challenging part. We're playing almost for the entire movie, and what we've discovered, because many of the musicians have been watching the movie with their scores in front of them, and so what we've discovered is that some of the parts that are really, really hard are going to be covered by the sounds of tasers, battleships. It's so we're somewhat less worried about the loud spots, but it's and any score by John Williams is challenging for orchestras. So, on the other hand, every John Williams concert that we've done has drawn a really great audience.
And it's really fun to play as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's not easy, but those are usually the best ones, right? If it's too easy, it's not enough fun, right?
Yeah.
Challenging.
It has to be a little bit of a challenge in there, yeah.
We chatted a little bit about next season and markings, the special occasion for Aaron.
Yep.
What else in between those special events will we see next season?
Yeah, there's going to be, I'm excited for a few of our guest artists that we have coming in. We have a wonderful pianist who is no stranger to Duluth, actually, Adam Golka. He's performed for Matinee Musicale before, I believe. And he will be joining us in the first part of the season with a concerto that's one of those new pieces. It's a piece by Turkish composer Fazil Say. He's a composer and pianist himself, and this piece was written, I think, in the late 90s. It's called Silk Road. It's a concerto for piano and orchestra, and it takes you along the ancient Silk Road from Tibet to India all the way to Turkey. And it imitates the folk music from that region. And it's a fascinating piece that has all sorts of fascinating techniques where he plucks the strings inside the piano, or he puts certain objects on the strings so that they rattle while he plays. And that's how he achieves all these different sounds of these sort of exotic instruments. Fascinating piece, one of the ones that I'm definitely most looking forward to for next year. And then, of course, one of the big ones, you want to share the big movie?
Is this a special announcement?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh!
Indiana Jones is coming to Duluth.
Yes, Indiana Jones will be coming to Duluth
Oh,
next
wow.
year.
Okay. So mark your calendars. Well, I guess we don't know the date yet, but
We will.
It'll
mark
be
the year.
We'll have that this weekend.
They're telling us to wrap. We need
Yeah.
to find out more about this, right? Thank you both for being with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much.
Now we are sending you to Venture North, where our team learned about the processes and importance of water quality testing in our region.
Hi, my name is Waverly Rival, and I'm the Volunteer Water Monitoring Program Specialist at the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. So the Volunteer Water Monitoring Program is a long-term data gathering initiative that started back in 1973 at the University of Minnesota, switched over to the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency about 5 years later, and we've been collecting water clarity data with volunteers for the last 52 years. Water clarity is a really great indicator of how healthy a water body is. It's kind of like taking the blood pressure of a water body, gives us a great overall view of how that water body's doing. So water clarity can tell us how much sunlight is penetrating into the water body, which can in turn affect fish, insects, and plant communities that live in that water. So it can tell us how much algae or sediment is in the water body. So this is called a Secchi tube, and this is what our volunteer stream monitors use to measure water clarity on their stream sites all around the state of Minnesota. It's a really simple, easy test to detect how much sunlight is able to enter the body of water. And so you take this little disc and you drop it into the tube. And then from here, you'll look right down into it and find the point where the disc disappears from view. And Chester Creek here is a pretty clear stream. So we're able to see the disc all the way down to the bottom of the tube, which is 100 centimeters. And that would be our reading for Chester Creek. So the volunteer collected data that is collected by community members and submitted to us through the Volunteer Water Monitoring Program, it gets used in two really important ways. So first, this water clarity data is used to create water clarity trends. And so whether clarity is increasing or decreasing over time can tell us a lot about the quality of the water. And our volunteers act as our MPCA's boots on the ground. So we cannot make these water clarity trends unless we have at least 50 data points and 8 years of data. However, our MPCA monitoring staff only make it out to watersheds every 10 years for regular monitoring. So we would not be able to create these trends without our volunteers. And so that's so important to us at the MPCA. And then the other way that we utilize the data is we actually use volunteer collected clarity data in our water quality standards assessments that are mandated by the Clean Water Act. So all of the data volunteers collect goes into our water quality database at the MPCA, and our staff are able to pull it out for reports and assessments. So for lakes, water clarity data that's collected by volunteers is combined with chlorophyll and phosphorus data to see if lakes are meeting swimming and recreation standards. And then as well for streams, volunteer collected water clarity data is used to see if streams are meeting sediment standards. So our volunteer data is so important to help us prevent data gaps, as well as provide data for us for these really important assessments that tell us whether a water body might need more protection or restoration. So our volunteers go out at least twice per month during the summer months, and they monitor at a designated location on a lake or a stream. So we give them a site that they continue to go back to year after year, and that helps contribute to consistency and longevity in that local monitoring. So we need volunteer water monitors all the time. The monitoring seasons for lakes runs from May to September each year, and streams runs from April to September each year. But you're allowed to sign up anytime throughout the year that you're interested and see the program. But that is the main water monitoring seasons are during those times. But during the off season, we also provide expert webinars, socials, events that our volunteers can interact and come to. Volunteers do not need any experience to join the program. Anyone can be a volunteer. We have retirees, school groups, families, church groups, community groups. Anyone can be a volunteer. No scientific expertise necessary. We provide all of the training for free, all the equipment for free. So our training's quick and easy online and super fast and easy to do.
Well, before we go, let's take a look at what you might be up to this weekend. The Nice Girls of the North Arts and Crafts Show kicks off this Saturday, May 10th at 10 a.m. and runs until 3 p.m., held at the Spirit of the Lake Community Arts Center on Superior Street. The event features local vendors and handcrafted goods for sale, from jewelry, cards, and home decor to hand-dyed yarn, clothing, and baked goods. You can find the perfect gift or a special treat for yourself. There will also be a special presentation on crafting Ukrainian eggs. The event is free to attend, and more info can be found online.
Or you could also get your friends together and try your forehand at Live Well Pickleball Tournament. It's hosted at the University of Wisconsin Superior Wellness Center. The doubles tournament is open to players of all skill levels. Children between 12 and 17 must be accompanied by an adult. Paddles are not provided, so be sure to bring your own paddle. Warm-ups start at 8:30, and the tournament is expected to wrap up around 5 p.m. Registration and more information can be found online.
And on Sunday, get your fencing on at Chester Bowl. From 10 a.m. until noon, teams get together to learn and practice the sport of jugger, a 5-on-5 team combat foam sword fighting sport that combines elements of soccer, rugby, and fencing into one exciting game. The event is free and open to all. Participants are encouraged to wear running shoes and bring a water bottle. For updates and rain cancellations, visit the Minnesota Jugger Facebook page.
I have never heard of that.
I haven't either, but I'm not good at any of those sports, so I can't imagine I'd be good at jugger.
Soccer, rugby, it's a hard sport.
Fencing.
They're all hard.
Foam swords. I mean, I want to go watch.
Yeah.
And 5-on-5 and combat.
We should do it.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe we'd be a good team.
We'll have to get Sydney and Ryan
Pretty
and
soon we'll be
Kaden
at the
onto
Olympics.
Too. Team of 5.
Yeah, right? That'd be exciting. And enjoy the weather. It's supposed to be nice this weekend,
Gonna be beautiful.
That's it for this week's show. Go out and enjoy your weekend. I'm Brett Scott.
And I'm Maria Hewitt. Thank you for joining us. Good night.